Cacaw.
Cacaw. Well, that was doom and gloom, wasn't it?
Yeah, but it's that kind of mood, isn't it, right now? Or it's not just me, is it?
No, it's like the ultimate unknown.
Yeah.
It really is.
So we're
And
doing the Middle
everybody's
Class
feeling
VO
it.
podcast. Okay. Yeah, everybody's feeling this. So I'll just do a quick open here, Bobbi. It's Bobbi, Maxwell in Cincinnati, Kevin Kilpatrick in Nashville. More than 6 feet apart. I've been sanitizing. I've been washing my butt. I have got a cup of coffee in my
That was
hand.
a little TMI, bud.
We're just gonna chat. But yeah, the mood is just, Bobbi, I feel so wonky. It's weird. It's just, and like you said a second ago, it's the unknown of what's going on right now.
You know, at the beginning, I was like, "Hey, this is what us VO people have done every day of our lives." You know, we're used to being in a booth, by ourselves. But when you get to seeing everybody else doing it with you, and especially like, are we going to be working? And if you have children now, it's different. And yeah, the reality is really starting to set in.
It is. And today on this episode of the Middle Class VO podcast, we're just going to chat, like I said. We're going to talk about what's going on in our worlds. And, I've been seeing a lot of Facebook stuff and what's happening with other people and what everybody's binging right now, reading, what else is going on. So, Bobbi, I'll just, I got a disheartening message Friday last week from one of my big auto agencies, and they said we're going to take a 60% hit for April, and then don't know what's going to happen after that. And sadly, a lot of this big agency, over 100 employees, sadly, a bunch of them lost jobs. Others were furloughed, and then others required to take a pay cut. So it's that's kind of world we're in right now, and it's got me feeling wonky.
Yeah, it does. But how other than that, how is your workload? Are you getting auditions? Are you getting clients that are coming back for, COVID statements? Or
Yeah.
What are you working on?
In automotive, Bobbi, that's what I've been getting, and I'm thankful for it. I've always been thankful for it, but especially now. But I have the majority of the messages have been COVID related, really focusing on shopping from home for your new auto. And then all these manufacturers, all of the big ones, have come up with incredible incentives for buying. 84 months, 0% interest, deferred payments for 6 months, 3 months, we'll make your payments, 3 months, you have no payments. So
Wow.
there's all kinds of great incentives going on for auto dealers right now. They're scrambling. And, I don't know if they did not bring out those incentives if I would have any work. But, back in 2008, Bobbi, it was a big message to me to get diversified, when we had the big crash in 2008, because that was the first thing that went away was automotive advertising. And I was nearly 80% in work was my automotive work. And that was just a big eye-opener to get diversified. And so thankfully now I do, I have e-learning accounts and I have IVR telephony accounts and, corporate videos and that kind of stuff. So that will cushion the blow. But, thank God I'm in, an okay place to where I can absorb this for a little while. But there's so many people that can't. What about you? What about your workload?
Well, once again, I've had a few of the, we're in this together, the typical caring and we'll get through it kind of message from some regular clients. Most of the auditions on pay to play have been like that. I mean, I'd say a good 85% of them. And, I was really surprised that our manager has been sending a lot of auditions, and not necessarily in that vein. I mean, there are some good retail places that are still out there, taking submissions. So it really depends on the business and how they're looking at things, and are they working on now what's going to hit the air, in a month or two, or it just varies across the board. And like you had said about diversifying, starting last week, I don't do much e-learning. I have like 2 clients that will send stuff several times a year. So I just started auditioning for e-learning jobs and IVR, which I've always kind of liked doing, but I wasn't really getting hired much on it. So I just started sending auditions out for that just to have something to work on. I even considered doing an audiobook, but that's really down the line.
Audiobooks are a challenge. They really test you, and I have much respect for those that narrate audiobooks, because it is I did one a couple of months ago, and I'm like, oh yeah, this is why I do other stuff. There's people that are better skilled at this than I.
Yeah.
So, but like you said, thankfully, there's been some really good auditions that have been coming in. I got lucky and just happened to get into the lap of a video game producer. And we're exchanging emails, and he's like, do you ever do anything like this? And I'm like, I've dabbled a little bit, and I happen to have a bunch of recent character type stuff available that I could, send him as kind of a demo, because I don't have a video game demo. But I sent him all that stuff, and he said, okay, I hear some stuff there. There's some stuff that could be worked with. He said, certainly, I'll get you on my audition list. And I got an audition from him 2 days ago, and there were 14 total characters, and I read for 12 of them. So,
did you really?
Yeah, and that's why my voice is a little tired today. It's because, I read for all those.
I was going to ask you about that. You seem a little subdued or something, so that's what it is, huh?
Yeah, that's it vocally, and just the COVID blanket that's on me and everybody, and I'm trying to stay light, but it's these times are unsettling. It's the unknown. But I'm ultimately a positive person, and I know we're all going to get through this, and we're going to be stronger than we were before, and we're going to have more realization than we had before.
Absolutely, and we're getting a lot more done at home. Can you hear my washing machine going through the spin cycle?
Is that what that is, Bobbi?
Can you hear it?
No, I can't hear it.
I was like, all of a sudden it just started going. I'm going, oh no, it's going to be picking it up. So, doing things that they don't normally do in the middle of the day.
That's funny. Well, I'm still coming to my studio. My office building is a ghost town. I don't see anybody. I haven't seen anybody. There are a handful that are still here. I'm peeking around corners before I walk past a corner, just so I can keep my distance from anybody. And
yeah.
I'll go to the bathroom down the hall, and I'll, of course, I've always washed my hands really good anyway, really good. And then I will get back to my office after washing my hands, and then I'll sanitize with 70% alcohol solution. So,
just to bring it up real quick, your wife is in the medical field, and she works at an ER. Has she been working extra hours?
It's funny because Deborah was working in the hip replacements, joint replacements, that kind of stuff, which is elective surgery. She went from ICU. She went from critical care to recovery in orthopedics about 3-4 years ago.
Okay.
And so now they consider that elective surgery, which they shut that down. And then with the voiceover business as it is currently, I knew that was going to be a hit, but she hustled and she found some other managers there within St. Thomas and picked up other hours doing other jobs, still getting paid the same amount, which is great. She's picking up hours where she had lost them before. Okay. And she's right there on the front lines. She's doing pre-screening for COVID for patients that are coming in. That are required to be there. So she'll ask them, have you been coughing? Have you been doing this? And of course, she's got the whole gear all on the armor, the COVID armor on every day. And she comes home every day, puts her clothes directly in the washer, and then hops in the shower right away.
It's so surreal sometimes. I've seen on Facebook, and especially in our voiceover our pages in the community, that a lot of people were saying, hey, great time to look at marketing. But if you are marketing to companies right now, are you ruthless or clueless? I don't know a better word to use, by reaching out to people saying, hey, hire me. Or do you just keep going as is, or do you just make it more of a touch to the person, just kind of build a relationship?
Yeah, I think you do that last thing there, and you do present it with, hey, if you're looking for anything COVID related, let me know. I can, handle some of that. And then, I don't know, there's been a lot of discussion. I had a client that asked me to take a reduction in rates for the next few months. And it's a 10 plus year client. And I posted this in the voiceover community, and the majority of people felt like I did feel and how I responded with, yes, I'll do that. They've been a client of mine for over 10 years. And, a lot of people are like, oh, no, don't. Are they going to give you an increase in that? And, ultimately it's about relationships. But getting back to your question is, I think that if you are going to market, that you be very, very careful and not let it seem like marketing, and just say, hey, I'm checking in. Let me know if you need anything, warm and heartfelt.
Mm-hmm.
And then that's what I was going to get to is like, do you then say, hey, I'll offer you a discounted rate? Or I've heard of some people doing some free stuff for small businesses is what I'm seeing the majority of, is some people are doing some stuff for free. I've only had the one client ask me to take a discount, and then I had a radio station client that asked for a 3-month hiatus. And I agreed to that, because radio advertising, Bobbi, is one of the first things to go when something like this happens.
Yeah, it is. It is. One of my imaging clients is a news talker. So this is a great time for them to be sending me copy. I mean, that's what they do. They're on the air every second talking about this. So of course I got work from them. But you're right. The regular music stations are definitely, I mean, they're letting their employees go or on furlough. So they're certainly not going to have work for us right now.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. I have been, talking about doing stuff at home. I trimmed my trees over the weekend. Worked in the yard. We got our deck looking good.
Nice.
And I've been streaming stuff. Of course, I wore out Tiger King this past weekend.
Haven't seen it yet. No, but everybody's talking about it.
It is a freak show train wreck. I mean, part of it's set in Florida, so that should tell you something. It is just a freak show train wreck.
What is that on?
And it's on Netflix.
Netflix, okay.
Yeah, and I want to say there's 7, 8 episodes total, 7, 8, 9, something like that. But it's you got to get past the first episode is kind of laying stuff out and kind of teasing the rest. So as long as you can make it through that, you'll probably be hooked. But it's good, and I've picked up Ozark. Have you seen Ozark?
I saw the first 2 seasons. I've not seen the third yet.
Okay,
we've been binging on Fargo, but Ozark is really good. If nobody's
okay, and Fargo is based on the movie, right?
I didn't see the movie, honestly. But the series is really, really good. I mean, whoa.
Are you not familiar with Fargo, the movie?
Well, I knew there was a movie with Frances McDormand and who else was
William
in
H.
that?
Macy.
Yeah.
And
But
Steve
I
Buscemi.
never saw it.
Oh my gosh!
So,
if you ask me to make a top 10 list, it's in it every time. Just in it. Coen Brothers did that movie. Just amazing stuff. And so, is there a car salesman involved who hires some bad guys to kidnap his wife?
No.
In your series?
No.
Oh, maybe it's not based on the same thing. I thought it was related somehow, though.
It might be, but no, that's not the plot.
Okay. Well, that's all I'll go as far as the plot goes on Fargo. I mean, you see that within the first few minutes of the movie, so I didn't spoil anything.
Okay.
So you definitely got to watch Fargo.
I hired a new accounting firm because I just
the accounting firm of Dewey, Cheatham, and Howe. Hey-o, hey-o. Hashtag dad joke.
But they started it in March, and so they're doing my invoicing, and I've had a number of clients through 2019 and early 2020 that still are out there that just won't respond to me. So I put this firm on it, and then I got to, we got in the middle of this COVID, and I was like, oh, is this just a bad time? People don't have jobs, and should I really be doing this? But I got 2 payments today from January and March of 2019 that were overdue.
You're kidding.
Just because it was an email from an accounting firm saying, by the way.
That's a great idea.
That's
a great idea.
I don't know. I mean, the list isn't huge, but I was shocked. I was shocked.
Were these one-time projects?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
It just kind of disappeared, but yeah, I was really surprised. So we'll see how many come in. I'll keep you up to date on that.
That's frustrating. Yeah, it's a good question. Do you try to collect payments from clients that are a little bit behind right now, or is that insensitive? Hey, we did the work. We probably should have been paid already. I say gently ask for it.
Yeah. I mean, we have to have an income too, so yeah.
Yeah. Especially if you've done the work and you agreed the terms were 30 days or whatever they were, and that's frustrating.
I had 2 clients reach out to me earlier today from Indonesia, and it was a direct email, and they told me the terms and were interested in using me. And I was thinking at that point, ooh, do I ask for 50% up front here? Do I ask for 100% up front? What would you do?
I'd 50. I think
50%.
That's a fantastic idea. You've never worked with them before?
No, they're just out of the blue contacted me.
Especially new client, especially overseas new client. I got burned. I think we talked about this in a past episode, but yeah, I got burned by some guys out of Poland for some imaging work I did, and I'm never going to see that money. And it was just a lesson. It was good that it happened because I learned that especially overseas, I got to get references or get 50%.
Okay.
Legit references from people that because we voiceover people, we know somebody that knows somebody for sure. You know.
Well, one of my clients, I am the voice of a kids network in Dubai. And,
I remember. Yeah.
And they send work, all the time, and they've gotten a little bit behind in payment, and they asked for a promo yesterday, and so I responded and said, sure, I'll be happy to do this for you. Are you going to make payments on the past 2 months? And their reply was that the office has actually been shut down through March, so it's obvious, we know it's worldwide. And they said, if you could just hang with us for another month. But I went ahead and did the promo for them because I know it's an ongoing client. And
you've been working with them a while?
Yeah, and I think, they're good for it. And
good.
it's for the kids. It's for the children.
It's for the kinder. It's for the children.
Right.
What about the children, Bobbi?
I know. We've done too many radiothons in our careers, haven't we?
Yeah, exactly. But that's good, though. And I guess that's a case-by-case basis. You got to just kind of feel it out. And I'm getting a little unnerved. A new radio station client I took on in January, I've yet to receive my first payment from them. And so now it's going to be like, but I know, they're a big corporation, so they're good for it, I know.
It's not that scammer guy that's going around the country? That's
Slippery Pete. You can always count on Slippery Pete.
There is. I mean, he's hit up so many people. I've seen some of these threads of how many imaging people have been scammed by this guy, and it's one dude. It's like, wow, he has a lot of nerve. So
no, it's I know a bunch of radio voice guys that they are as big and strong as their voice sounds.
Yeah.
And if they ever got their hands on this guy,
I know.
Woo. Yeah.
Exactly.
Anyway, it's a shame what people will do to just eat. To me, it's so comical because they work so hard to scam people. Why not just work that hard at a real job?
Mm-hmm. Oh, don't get me started. We would turn this 30-minute podcast into an all-day thing.
Well, Bobbi, everything is on the table. This is the COVID Campfire podcast. I'm just
you and I are actually on Source Connect right now, and that's a good subject because every agent out there has been emailing their clients and their talent saying, if you're not on Source Connect yet, do it. Because all these production houses are shut down, and all these, the big SAG jobs and that were being recorded in studios are now going to home studios.
That's a good point to bring up, and that's exactly why I wanted to do this, because just like Bobbi said, been so many people going to Source Connect, have never done Source Connect, and it was just a reminder to me, hey, just make sure, check the lines, make sure they're good, and all that good stuff. And so, we're doing our session via Source Connect right now. And Bobbi, you sound fantastic, as always.
As you do. As you do.
As I do. Hey, is there a camera on?
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. We're recording an hour after we're having our every, I don't know how many often days, our governor is DeWine, and he does his press conference, and somebody made wine glasses that say wine with DeWine.
That's great.
All these people who are at home now are having their midday wine with DeWine, and that was like an hour ago, so excuse me.
Yeah, hey,
I'm just
nothing
kidding.
wrong with that, kid. I'm having my afternoon coffee. Of course, I'll be up until 3 o'clock in the morning.
Of course you
Deborah
will.
always says, don't drink coffee afternoon. I'm like, I know, but I can't help it.
Mm-hmm.
But, check your Source Connect, make sure everything in the pipes is good. And it's funny because I was on my, just dialed into sourceconnect.com or whatever the website is, and just big announcement, we are experiencing a high, call volume, and, our technical service calls are high right now. And I'm like, yep, all these voice people trying to figure out what Source Connect's all about.
Oh, yeah. I was surprised there wasn't a drag or something, but the line sounds perfectly fine. Now, Zoom, yeah. I've heard from quite a few people that their Zoom sessions had either dropped out or drug a little bit because, not only voice people, but you've got businesses and, conferences and everything taking up Zoom right now. So it's the new thing.
Yeah. It's a weird time that we're experiencing right now. But yeah, Source Connect. And if you are struggling, how about some quick technical tips on for people that might be, trying to set up a studio at home on the cheap and really fast, Bobbi?
Yeah. I guess the most important thing that I've always heard is don't worry about getting the most expensive mic. Treat your room. That's going to be the most important thing. So if you're doing it in a little closet next to your kitchen where the refrigerator's going to be running, or your heater is going on, that's probably not going to work. You need to find the quietest space in the house and then treat that space with whether it be you surrounded by clothing or the acoustic. What's the stuff called, Kev?
Foam.
One more drink with DeWine.
That just reminded me of watching Trump the other day, and he was talking about the masks, the surgical masks that everybody's wearing, and we're having to, get rid of them immediately. And he's like, why can't we sanitize them? We have all these great liquids we could sanitize them with. He was struggling to find the word, and he came up with liquids.
Liquids.
But yeah, acoustical foam, and even if it, you can have stuff shipped to the house, but if you're looking for something like this hot minute, go into a closet full of clothes. Find the quietest one in your home, and use that, like Bobbi's saying. Get away from all the air. You got to do a session, turn off your air totally so there's nothing happening. Tell everybody be quiet for a few minutes, and go to the closet. That's the first place you go. And I was watching, as far as setup, I was watching a demo by Booth Junkie. Do you know Booth Junkie, Bobbi?
I've heard of Booth Junkie, yeah.
Yeah, look for him on YouTube. He has a ton of great information out there, and he was doing an actual recorded spot via his smartphone and using the smartphone microphone. And there's an app. I've actually got the app, if for like emergency auditions. but and it sounded great, or it sounded passable anyway. So if you had to get something this hot minute, get that app and, search the app. Go, get on YouTube and find Booth Junkie and watch his video. It's incredible. But anyway, there's all kinds of stuff. You could do it on the cheap if you're trying to get something set up at home right now. You're used to going into studios. You can do it. I'm sure people have already been researching the information. But Bobbi, were you surprised that there were as many people working VO actors that did not have a home setup?
I was. I really, really was. Because I thought, isn't the majority of us doing this? But just watching the VO Facebook pages, I was like, wow, I'm really shocked. I guess maybe especially like in New York, LA, Chicago, they are going to studios. But out here in the Midwest, I would have thought that most voiceover talent had their own studio.
Yeah, there's a handful of studios still here in Nashville that people are going into. But everybody that I know has a home studio, and that was the only thing I could deduce, I guess. It is LA and New York and Chicago, and people that are accustomed to going in, 3-4 times a week to studios, why would you need to set up something at home? But boy, this is a big eye-opener for them as well.
Well, I just relaunched my website earlier this week, and it was one of the first things I made sure I had on there that I have Source Connect, and I am home studio equipped. And on my socials, made sure to put, along with the new banners that I put on there, that you see right up front, home studio equipped or Source Connect or what, because those are the things that potential clients are looking at when they're searching you, and have it right there out front.
It's a good idea. It's a good idea, Bobbi. I'm going to have to steal some of these ideas from you. Oh, goodness. What do you... How do you
I
think
have a question for you.
Avez-vous une question, mademoiselle?
Oui, oui. Taxes. The tax deadline has been pushed back to what, July 15th? Is that right?
Shoot, yeah. What's a tax deadline? I don't know what that is. What are taxes? I'm joking.
Oh.
I am so joking. Johnny Law knows that I take care of my taxes.
His real name is not Kilpatrick. So are you going to honor are you just going to go on and file your taxes by April 15th? Or are you going to take advantage of the extension?
I'm taking advantage. Oh, I'm taking advantage. Yeah, because I typically file an extension anyway every year to October. Oh. And yeah, just because, so I've done it so long, that is my tax day, basically. However, with the new, so I might be doing them early this time around. So I might be taking advantage of that to answer your question.
Yeah, because you have more time to do your taxes now.
I know, but I don't want to mess with them. I hate it. I hate all that stuff, Bobbi. If I'm being candid, I like playing. I like performing. I like, being on mic. I like doing all that. Everything else, I hate.
I am right there with you.
I'm sure that's the majority of people, too.
Yeah. I mean, that's why they have managers and people to do our accounting and such.
Yeah.
Spread the wealth.
What is the immediate future for us, VO people? I was talking to a friend of mine who we message a lot on Facebook, my friend Rob. And every Rob Reed?
other... Yeah.
Shout out to Rob.
Hey, Rob, down in Texas, Austin, Texas. And we will say, hey, how's your day today? Because he does a lot of automotive as well and has worked with you. And he'll say, are you getting worried yet? And I'll say, well, I've only had like 2 jobs come in this week so far, and it's Wednesday already. And it's so funny because after having a really down day yesterday, one of the last things he says is, hang in there, just pray. It's gonna work out. We're gonna get through this. And sure enough, both of us, one of my best clients, my big client reached out today to have a national retail spot. And I was like,
excellent.
Thank you. So that gave me faith that if they're advertising, others like them are going to do it. And people aren't just all gloom and doom right now. They are thinking to the future. People are being smart about staying inside and staying away from people and washing your hands and sanitizing. But they're also going, you know what? Life moves on. We're going to have to look to the future in order to get to the future.
Yeah, exactly, 100%. And I'm optimistic, and like I was saying earlier, it's a good reminder to make sure you are diversified, because you will notice certain areas, certain genres of VO that are going to be slow. And I learned that lesson in 2008 and 2009, and it's a reminder now for everybody, including myself, including Bobbi, get diversified. I'm trying to stretch myself and trying to dip my toe into some video game work. Bobbi's trying to get into e-learning and telephony IVR stuff. So, don't pigeonhole yourself. As Dave Fennoy said on one of the podcasts, if you're a one-trick pony, you need to learn some new tricks.
I love that. And you know what? In a few months, 6 months, there's going to be some really good trailers of all these coronavirus movies that will be coming out.
Exactly. Oh, so your recommendations to binge, Bobbi, are what? Fargo?
Fargo it's violent, but it's so good. And what else? I tried the new Reese Witherspoon, Kerry Washington series. I tried 2 episodes.
Yeah, we're watching that.
I wasn't feeling it. I think
it was
too much like her other series.
Big Little Liars?
Yes.
Yeah,
Big Little
I
Lies.
agreed. Big Little Lies, or whatever. But I agreed 100%. That one is like, it's kind of okay. It's okay. We're still watching it. But so you kind of watch that some. You've been watching Fargo, the series. What else?
You're going to laugh, and I'm going to out him so bad right now.
Okay.
My husband loves to play video games. He's a big kid. And the one that was
I'm aware of this.
Yeah, Steve.
Yeah.
The one that just came out a few weeks ago, the new version of it. What's it called? It's on Nintendo. So most of the time, the TV is taken up by that. And
Okay.
I'm doing crosswords and reading magazines while he's playing this little game that these characters go.
Well, maybe I'll be the binge sounding board then. So,
What are you
I'm gonna
and
start
Deborah
off-
binging on?
oh my gosh, Mindhunters? Have you seen that?
No.
Oh my gosh. So Mindhunters is it's a dramatization of the real life story of how the FBI formulated criminal profiling. And it is fascinating because they are dealing with actual cases. They go to prisons, and this is in the 70s and 80s, and they go to prisons and they interview serial killers. Well, they coined the term serial killer during this time period. And so they're talking to all the big ones. Ed Kemper was the first guy they learned so much from, and that's how they got all this FBI profiling stuff, was they gleaned it from interviewing all these serial killers. And so it's amazing how on point they are nowadays with profiling somebody. They'll say, okay, this serial crime is committed by, when it's unsolved, this serial crime is committed by a white guy in his mid to late 30s who works at either a bank job or some sort of insurance job like that and cuts his lawn on Sundays. I mean, they'll throw in some random something and it'll be right. So it's
That's
just
wild.
Mindhunters is great. Of
And
course,
what's that on?
everybody's watching. Mindhunters is, I think that's Netflix.
Okay.
But it's, I love it. And you talk about a great soundtrack they use. Oh my gosh, all that great music from the 70s and 80s, classic rock, that kind of vibe. So it's really good. Everybody's watching Tiger King. I wore that out last weekend, and it was great. It's a freak show train wreck, like I was talking about earlier. I am currently watching Ozark. I hadn't watched any of it yet, so I started with episode 1, season 1, a few nights ago, and I'm already through season 1 now. But a classic that I strongly recommend to anybody is Dexter. You can watch some Dexter. So that's my recommendation.
Dexter. I think I watched one episode of that several years ago, and I've never gone back to it.
Oh my gosh!
We spent a lot of time on BBC. Some of the series on BBC, and they're short. Most of them are like 6 episodes, so it's fun. But we love British TV and British series, though.
And I like it when they will do a series where they wrap it up in 5, 6, 7 episodes, because then it turns into like a 5 or 6 hour movie or something. Which
you know
is
what
really
I'm
cool.
disappointed about? The Crown, the latest series with the new actress playing the Queen.
Yeah, they changed a lot of them, didn't they? Or was it just the one?
I'm not feeling it. It's definitely not the same vibe as the first 2 seasons.
Okay.
But that's just
Yeah, Deborah was watching that, and she stopped watching it, and I don't know if it was because of the change of cast or whatever, but yeah. So
do you have enough toilet paper down there in Nashville, by the way?
I do. Oh, it's funny because Deborah would get some every time she went to the store, and then I ordered some from Amazon just as backup, and so yeah,
You ordered toilet paper from Amazon?
You know it.
And they had it?
Yeah, they did.
Did they jack the price up?
I don't know. I got a 24 pack for $372. Is that high? I thought I don't buy toilet paper, so I don't know the price. I don't know the rates, but it's
you know what I bought on Amazon
for a 24 pack.
You know what I bought on Amazon? Oh, you're gonna laugh. I bought one of those pill pack things where it Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday.
Oh, the meme that starts, you know it, you're a senior when.
When? Oh, I was so embarrassed to be doing it, but hey.
It's a milestone, Bobbi.
It is.
Congratulations.
Well, thank you.
Oh,
What's your
I just
name?
keep them all in my pocket. Yeah, exactly. Oh, my goodness. Well, we're going to get through all this. It's going to be a rough few months, and just, I'm sure everybody's going to do like we are and just watch what you're spending, and just keeping an eye on things. And
Do not look at your 401k.
don't look at your 401k. If you got a couple extra bucks, help somebody.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what I think, too. But
I miss ya. I'm usually down in Nashville, like once every couple months. It's going to be a while, so hey,
I know.
Till next time.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. Maybe we need to do us a live Facebook or something. So we'll do that at some point.
Okay. Well, you
but
guys
this was
take
fun
care.
just talking.
I know. I hope
We will,
everybody else
Bobbi.
has enjoyed it.
Yeah, hey, if you just listen to me and Bobbi ramble on. It's worth the price of admission, free. Oh, from Nashville, I'm Kevin Kilpatrick. Bobbi Maxwell is in Cincinnati, and this has been the Middle Class VO podcast. Bobbi, thank you, and you guys stay safe and healthy.
Absolutely.